I want to start first and foremost by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Stone who taught me this truth and who lead as examples to the flock. Peace and salutations to the men who are pushing for this penny a day, honoring and glorifying the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and this truth, Baharakah Kodash. All right, so this lesson is going to go more and more, into, exposing the folly, of Mr. Babylon the Great, and its present emperor, present king, Nero Trump, and as we say, as I say, Nero Trump, credit where credit is due, the elder apostle Tahar, was the first, to recognize, and call, Trump Nero, and say this is Nero coming back, and here we have a French senator who said the same thing last year, showing you that it's the Spirit of the Lord revealing these things, yo. It's the Spirit of the Lord revealing these things, showing you that this is Rome all over again. This is the beast that was wounded and then revived, yo. Right? So America's allies are continually being, alienated from them because of the actions of this man, because of the words, of this man. And to the point where it's become comical, you look at it and it's like this is like a soap opera. It can't be real. The whole world, it seems like a political stage, and the whole agenda, of the Trump administration seems to be to destroy all diplomatic ties, with allies and just crumble the country, right? Whether economically, militarily, socially, morally, to just destroy America. Right, so we're going to listen to, and read, a little bit of this speech here from this French senator. Let's start here. We're going to have to read. He's speaking in French.
En février 2026, un autre fou dangereux a allumé au Proche-Orient une autre mèche qui remet à nouveau en cause l'équilibre international. La guerre devait-elle aussi durer une semaine? Un mois plus tard, le monde entier se pose la question, qu'est-ce qui va se passer? La réponse simple, courte et précise est la suivante, Dieu seul le sait. Il y a un an, ici même, je comparais la présidence de Trump à la cour de Nero.
So he said a year ago, he compared Trump's presidency to Nero's court. Let's get that. So this is from France24.com, right, and it was posted, I believe, July of last year. U.S. politicians can't stand up to Trump, says French senator who went viral for his Nero comment. All right, so let's read it. It says, the main chambers of France's upper house, the Senate, is usually the venue for stately discussion rather than speeches that go viral. All right, but Senator Claude Malhuret, a veteran politician who sits with a faction aligned with President Emmanuel Macron in the Senate, last week grabbed global attention due to his colorful choice of language. Washington has become Nero's court, with an incendiary emperor, submissive courtiers, and a buffoon on ketamine in charge of purging the civil service, he said in a speech. He was comparing Trump to notoriously tyrannical Roman Emperor Nero. Right? So again, credit where credit is due. The Apostle Elder Tahar, was the first, to make that connection and say, yo, this is Nero. This is Nero. And here we have a French senator doing the same thing, right? Comparing Trump to Nero, right? And he went on to say, a couple other things. I wanted to play it as well. Let me go on.
Néron, je me trompais, c'est la cour des miracles. Un anti-vax, ancien héroïnomane et ministre de la Santé. Un climato-sceptique, ministre de l'écologie. Un animateur télé alcoolique, ministre des Armées. Une ancienne agent du Qatar, ministre de la Justice. Une groupie de Poutine, ministre de la Sécurité nationale. Un proverbe turc dit « Quand un clown s'installe dans un palais, il ne devient pas roi. C'est le palais qui devient un cirque. »
So that's what's happening right now. A clown has moved into the White House. He is not president. The White House has just become a circus. And you see it. You see it by the stupidity that goes on the news, and the cruel acts, that this man is pushing forth. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. The burden of Egypt, which America is spiritually called Egypt and Sodom, because America is where the tribes suffered slavery. The transatlantic slave trade, that's where all the tribes, were brought into slavery. Yes, we were in slavery also throughout the Caribbean and South America, and a lot were transported also to Europe. But America is the big stage, for the transatlantic slave trade, right? The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. That's civil war, right? So civil war is coming to America. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. Because right now what you're seeing is America being laughed at on the world stage, starting a war with Iran, right? Not being able to succeed in that war, and then begging for other people to join the war, to help them out. And then when those people don't come, you criticize them and say, oh, I didn't need you in the first place. And then you make silly comments like saying the French president's wife is beating him up and he's still recovering from a right hook, saying that the crown prince of Saudi needs to kiss your ass and better be nice to you. The spirit of Egypt is failing in the midst thereof. And Trump is just a clown who's drunk on power, who's just barreling America towards its inevitable end, right? It says, and I will destroy the council thereof. There's no council anymore, right? His top advisors, they're all out there talking a bunch of shit. Marco Rubio, which is the foreign affairs minister, or whatever you want to call him, I forgot his actual title, but something to do with foreign policy, right? Said that Iran spends more on military than they do on taking care of their citizens. Meanwhile, America spends more on military than any other country combined. And then his own president, right, Nero Trump, came out and said, that we can't afford to we can't spend on daycare, we can't spend on Medicaid and stuff like that. We have a war to run. Let the states do that. Let the state do that and raise the state taxes in order to do that. We can't do that. Meanwhile, your foreign minister is saying that, Iran is accusing Iran of spending too much on the military and not taking care of their citizens. It's a shit show, right? The council is failing, and they shall seek to the idols, to the charmers, to them that have familiar spirit, and to the wizard, to their witchcraft. And the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel lord. That's Nero Trump. That's the tyrant, right? You see what happened during the ice raids, in Minnesota and other places, right? And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts, right? That's Nero Trump. But what's happening now is that their allies, are leaving them, right? Let's get Obadiah. Did I spell it right? Yeah, no, I didn't. Obadiah. Yeah. All right, here we go. Obadiah chapter 1, right? And I'll start from verse 3. Matter of fact, let's start from verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, right? The Lord has said, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise, let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised, right? And the chief ones who are greatly despised right now are who? The American Edomites, right? And the so-called Jewish Edomites. They are the ones who are hated the most right now. But ultimately, the world is going to hate every single one of them, right? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Because what Nero Trump is saying, that we have the greatest military on earth, right? We could decimate Iran within a couple hours, but yet you're calling on allies to help you to open the Strait of Hormuz, right? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, the eagle is now the national emblem of America, or emblem of America, national bird, or whatever you want to call it. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If thieves come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the great gleaners came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? all the men of thy confederacy, right? Your allies have brought thee even to the border. They that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in thee. Let's read that in the NLT and see what it says. Right? Verse 7, it says, all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you and you won't even know about it. Right? At that time, not a single wise person will be left in the land of Edom, saith the Lord. Right? So, hey, ultimately, the Lord is lifting up the skirt of America, yo. Right? If you can get that in Isaiah chapter 47. Right? The Lord is lifting up the skirt of America and making her desolate. Right? Isaiah chapter 47. Right? Let me start from verse 3. It says, your name, you will be naked and burdened with shame. I will take vengeance against you without pity. Right? O Redeemer, whose name is the Lord of heaven's armies, is the Holy One of Israel. O beautiful Babylon, sit now in darkness and silence. Never again will you be known as the Queen of Kingdom, the whore that rideth upon the beast. You know, so with that, you know, I don't want to make it too long, you know. Till next time, shalom.